From technological breakthroughs to innovative business strategies, from manufacturing to e-commerce, from telecommunications to the home computer. On World Business Review with Alexander Haig.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Alexander Haig. There's a growing concern over groundwater contamination, as well as polluted waterways, rivers, and shorelines. One of the main causes is deteriorating drainage systems. Here for a discussion on repairing existing infrastructures quickly and efficiently is Cameron Manners, President, founder of NewFlow Technologies. Welcome, Cameron. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you, Al. Glad to be here.
Good. Now, our industry expert for this segment is our friend Dr. Richard Moss, Professor of Environmental Science at the University of North Carolina in Asheville. Dr. Moss, it's always a pleasure to have you as well.
Thanks, Al. Glad to be here.
All right. Now, Cameron, what are the main causes of water contamination, and how is NewFlow's technology helping the situation today?
The main causes of water contamination are from two areas. One is obviously infiltration and exfiltration into the ground system. The other is from the pipe itself, such as potable water systems where they pick up pollutants as they're traveling through the pipe.
Very good. Now your turn, Dr. Moss. How is the Environmental Protection Agency assessing the problem, and what are they doing to help regulate it?
Well, the main concern of the EPA is leaking sewer lines that put contaminated water into our waterways. And the EPA and both state regulatory agencies come down very hard on that. And in fact, as Cameron knows, cities that have ignored their sewer infrastructure too long and have leaking sewer lines will actually have a moratorium put on them for any new connections or development on those lines.
Now, for more on this very important subject, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
In recent years, a number of factors have contributed to the decline of our water quality, one of which is our infrastructure, miles and miles of pipes in various stages of deterioration. It's been shown that repairing rather than replacing existing pipes is more practical. NewFlow technology has introduced applications being used globally. This residence in Coronado is just one example.
Well, as you can see behind me, we have a beautiful home that had pinhole leaks in its copper piping. That's the piping that carries the drinking water. We were able to solve that with a liquid epoxy solution that creates a barrier coating between the water traveling down the pipes and the pipe itself. That'll prevent future pinholes and take care of the pinholes that exist today.
What makes the NewFlow process unique is the pull-in-place technology.
NewFlow on the drain side is the most easily trainable and most affordable solution that's available today in any of the other lining systems. We can do anything from a spot repair to 150-foot mainline repair. No other company has that option set during the installation process.
This technology also works for other applications, such as drinking water.
In the drinking water lines, we use a liquid epoxy that creates a barrier coating between the pipe and the material traveling through it. Due to pH changes from the municipalities across the country, copper piping is beginning to fail at an alarming rate. So we want to put a barrier between the water and the pipe. On the drain side of the solution, it's structural. So we are going to actually put a physical barrier of felt permeated with epoxy to prevent anything from entering that pipe system.
With technology such as this, it's good to know that we're better able to keep our water flowing and our waterways cleaner. For World Business Review, this is Mark Streeter reporting.
What led to your acquisition of Potable Water Technologies?
Well, what happened was NewFlow was obviously started as a drain company. In New York City, I was standing on the bottom of one of the world's largest synagogues, and we were relining the drain system. In the basement, where the piping systems are based, there was a storm drain, and then on top a recirc line, hot line, cold line. I realized that NewFlow was really only handling 10% of the industry, so that's when we went out and acquired a company that does potable water.
Now, Cameron, what is no-dig technology?
No-dig technology, actually, it used to be anything that was under the ground. NewFlow has now taken that a step further and included anything inside walls, ceilings. We've basically taken no-dig technology from outside the home and brought it into the home.
Cameron, how does your technology differ from other pipe rehabilitation technologies?
Basically, our technology differs in the basis that it is very simple to use, simple to apply, and it's very versatile. It's very contractor friendly, so it can be easily trained, and more crews can actually install. Our technology is also a pull-in-place instead of an inversion-place, and we also handle everything from 1/2 inch right up to 8-inch pipe.
All right, now Cameron, tell our viewers, if you will, what this pull-in-place technology really is.
Pull-in-place technology is basically, it's a system where we have access that already exists somewhere down the pipe. It could be between 2 cleanouts or a cleanout in a manhole, and we will send a small cable through that pipe and attach it to our liner. That gives us the capability to actually position our liner anywhere inside the pipe that it needs to be. Other technologies, what happens is you're limited in what you can do, and you have to line the entire thing. So when we're doing vertical roof leads, such as on the Temple Emmanuel in New York City, we can position liners around bends without wrinkling and things like that.
Very good. Now, Dr. Moss, what are the cost factors involved here?
Well, it varies, Al, but most of the time, if we can rehabilitate a pipe in the ground without having to dig it up and replace it, it's going to be far less costly than the alternatives. And of course, especially if you're in an urban area where the cost of digging is high in sidewalks and streets, this is a far more cost-effective technology to simply reline and rehabilitate the pipe.
Good. Now, what's your take on costs, Cameron?
Our costs, it ranges anywhere right across the country. As Dr. Moss was saying about the sidewalks and things like that, there are definite costs incurred with that, where we'll be fairly equal with what a dig cost is. When you take this technology and put it into a building, however, it becomes exponentially cheaper. The churches in New York City are historical properties. They cannot be restored back to their original state. So when you take this technology and apply it there, the savings are astronomical.
We have reached a point where we ask our guests and our expert to give us a prognostication on the future of the technologies we've discussed. So what do you see coming down the road in the near term, Cameron?
Well, what I see is I see a lot more areas like the EPA getting involved. One of the problems with the SARS outbreak was traced back to bad plumbing in China. So I see the government bodies getting a lot more involved in what's going on in our industry, and it's coming to the forefront now that our infrastructure needs to be fixed. It's a very important thing. It's a very integral part of our society, and if everything is to go along and get better, it's definitely something that's going to have to be fixed. So I see our marketplace as just basically never ending.
And you raised China, so we see this as a global market.
Correct. Absolutely.
Very good. Now, what's your take on this, Dr. Moss?
Well, I believe this is a technology that is finally coming of age. And certainly as we recognize the importance of protecting our precious water supplies, and we have expanding urban populations, we've recognized need to make sure that our sewer lines are rehabilitated in the most cost-effective manner. And I think we have a technology here, Al, that has come of age that we are going to see more and more of. And in fact, over the next few years, I think that we will see many more miles of pipe rehabilitated with technologies such as this rather than the traditional pipe replacement.
Well, the clock tells me we're going to have to discontinue this very, very relevant to each of us subject discussion. But before doing so, I'd like to thank you, Cameron, for your very, very fine presentation.
Thank you.
And as always, we're indebted to you, Dr. Moss.
Thank you, Al. It's a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Alexander Haig.